Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello, everyone. It's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call on my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc.
Advances in technology have made hearing a more fashionable thing. Gone are the big, bulky hearing aids of yesteryear, and in are more sleek, modern, and connected devices. Connect to your TV, your phone, and the world around you. If you are having trouble with hearing, then schedule a free hearing test at Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas with convenient locations in Dodge City, Garden City, and Liberal. More and more people of all ages are starting their journey towards better hearing, and you can too. Visit miracle-ear.com today to schedule a free hearing test. Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas. You deserve to hear a better day.
Hello everyone, this is Harrison again to tell you about Spike's Cafe. Spike's Cafe is the place you want to take your family for breakfast or lunch. Trust me, they even cater. So if you have a party, they will bring the food to you or their food truck to your event. Spike's Cafe is the best. My dad takes me a lot of places to eat, so I know what I'm talking about. Spike's Cafe is open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And on some Fridays they stay open until 8. So check out their Facebook page for specials or today's hours. Spike's Cafe, only in Ingalls, Kansas.
Is that trash bin starting to smell a little funky? Then it's time to set up a monthly or quarterly subscription with MC Bin Cleaners. Or even just a one-time cleaning. Currently serving Dodge City, Mineola, Cimarron, and Ingalls. They don't just rinse out the bins, they clean and sanitize them, getting rid of not just the smell, but harmful bacteria and germs like Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, and more. Plus, a clean bin helps keep rodents away. They supply everything, too, from the water and the cleaning products to the disposal of the dirty water. No mess left behind. Cleaning both residential and commercial bins. Follow MC Bin Cleaners on Facebook and TikTok and visit their website, mcbincleaners.com. Subscription starting as low as $20. Locally owned and operated, cost-effective, and eco-friendly. Visit mcbincleaners.com today. If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City. Warmers, it is that time of the day. It is Ridin right here on Dry River Radio, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas in Garden City. Glad to have you along. My name's Joey Dean, and oh looky who it is joining me today. My son doesn't have school today because it's Good Friday, so he is joining me here on the show. Welcome, Harrison, to Riding the Pine.
Hi.
Hi. There you go. He's been bugging me for weeks now. Dad, when am I going to get to do Riding a Pine again with you? And I didn't realize that they had a Friday off until a couple of days ago. I've figured out that they had Friday off. But whatever you're doing over there, please stop. I was like, dude, it's probably going to be next year before or next summer anyway. Before you get to do a Ride in the Pine with me, because you're gonna be in school on Fridays, and lo and behold, he gets Good Friday off, and so he's bugged me all day, and I said yes, you're gonna get to do the show with me. So he's got his Power Rangers, the red one and the green one, it looks like, that he has, and he dropped them. So. He's joining us today, though, for the show. Big Royals fan, big baseball fan his age, as He's picking up his toys now. Those of you watching on Facebook Live can see his camera. I set up a second camera over there. But H, come on over here and tell us a little bit about your baseball fandom. You talk about Clint Leitner and the ballpark there in Garden City, that it's your ballpark, right?
No, I don't say that all the time.
I don't say that all the time. Okay. So sometimes it's your ballpark.
I just walk around like I own the place.
You do walk around like you own the place.
It's my home.
It is your home. You've been going there since you were just a little itty bitty baby. I'd be calling games in the stands with Dan Hubbard, and you'd be in the stroller, which somehow fit perfectly between the back of the seats and the next riser in the stands. And so it sat there perfectly, and he was able to sit there through games with his dad, calling him. And
looked up like you were awesome.
Yeah, you did. You looked at me like I was awesome. You don't do that anymore. You figured out now that I'm not so awesome.
When I'm not doing something, I just look at you.
Yeah, that's true.
I still do that.
Yeah. So, how big of a Wind fan? Would you say you're the biggest Garden City Wind fan there is?
Yeah.
Yeah? You got to talk into the microphone, man.
Yeah.
Why are you the biggest?
Well, because last year they had the most wins and the fewest losses.
Yeah, that's true. Is that why you're the biggest? Because they win?
Yeah.
You were just a baby when they had their last losing season. That was the very first year, I guess the first 2 years. Let's see. I did 2017. You were born in 2017 after the season. So, yeah, you have only known one losing season in Wind history. That was 2018, which was the worst losing season in the history of the league, or in the history of the team. That was the very first year Randy Ralston was GM, so I give him a hard time all the time about that first year. And I hated going to the ballpark that first year because every day it just seemed like they'd find another way to lose. But since then, it's been wild cards and division championships, going to the playoffs every year, which is awesome. In the last 2 years, losing in the Mountain Division Championship Series, just one step away from the Pecos League Championship. And I have to point this out. You went to Alpine with Randy and I 2 years ago, and we played golf. You remember playing golf?
Oh, yeah, I do. I love that.
Did you? What significant thing did you do on the golf course there in Alpine?
I don't remember.
You don't remember wrecking the golf cart into a tree? Yeah. I asked him, he was sitting in the cart, and I said, just press the gas, steer the dealer, just move it up a little bit. And so he did that, and everything was good. And then he took it upon himself as Randy and I were walking to our balls to catch up to us, and steered right into a tree with the golf cart. And the next day we went out, and Julie and Lance Myers joined us. Lance Myers is now the manager of the Alpine Cowboys. And it was a lot of fun with Julie, huh? You got to ride around with her. She's a lot cooler than me and Randy and Lance, right? You're not going to say anything there? Just going to leave that one alone? Who's the coolest, me, Randy, or Lance?
I don't know.
You don't know? Lance is taking you on the Gator and the golf cart, and you got to drag the infield in Roswell with him. Remember that? And he's giving you autographed bats. Let's see. Randy and I have taken you places. You've gone to Roswell with us. You've gone to Alpine with us. And, of course, we let you walk around Clint Leitner like it's your place. So who would be cooler? And, of course, I'm your dad. That's the other thing. So who's cooler, me, Randy, or Lance? Do you want to plead the fifth on that one?
What?
Plead the fifth. Your Fifth Amendment right to not have to answer the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not answering any of those questions you say.
But anyway, we were in Alpine last year, and after Garden City was eliminated, H did cry. And I had to send him out of the press box because it was about to make me cry. And sent him
Uncle
down
Randy.
to Uncle Randy, who pawned him off on Lance, and they kind of consoled him down on the field. And then last year, Garden City gets eliminated at home, and once again, H was crying about it. And this time his mom was there, and she was able to take him out of the press box and get him away from me. But you take the end of the win season pretty hard, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So this year they open May 28th.
Your birthday?
My birthday. How old am I going to be?
40.
Yeah, I'm going to be old, huh? That's right. Don't answer that. Good boy. Yes, it will be my 40th birthday. May 28th, though, the Garden City Wind opened things up at Clint Leitner in Garden City. Once again, starting the season at home. That's kind of a tradition for the Wind. They'll have the 4th of July game at home as well, which is always a good time. We are busy on the 4th of July, you and I are, buddy, because every year we get up at like 6 a.m. and we take off for Ashland and spend the morning in Ashland. Usually we get there about the time they're trying to shut down the pancake feed at the fire station. But we try to get there for some pancakes and sausage, right?
Yeah, and this year, don't tell Uncle Randy. Don't tell Uncle Randy.
Well, don't say anything on the air. If you're gonna have a surprise for Uncle Randy, he might be listening.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how it works, dude. Anybody can listen to the show. I can't block Uncle Randy from listening to the show. But anyway, we go to Ashland and we race your turtle, who's named after a former Wind manager, Garrett Toddy, who is now in Blackwell. He'll be the manager of Blackwell this year. He was at Roswell last year. Or actually, last I knew he was at Blackwell anyway. But he's named, the turtle is named after Toddy, right?
Yeah?
What's the turtle's name?
Toddy.
Yep, it's just Toddy. Just Toddy. It was really funny. A couple of years ago, we discovered that Toddy the turtle is a girl, and you can imagine the fun I had with Garrett Toddy with that information.
Wait, what?
But yeah, the Turtle Toddy, this will be, I think, the 5th or 6th year that turtle has raced in Ashland, and haven't won yet. Feeding that thing worms and fruit and all sorts of good stuff. That turtle is spoiled, and yeah, hasn't paid off yet. But is this going to be the year? Is Toddy going to win it this year?
Well, I don't know the future.
You don't know the future. You have no confidence in your turtle to say, yes, my turtle's going to win.
I'm sure. I think he's going to win this year.
What about the Garden City Wind? Are they going to win it all this year? You're thinking awful hard over there. They'll have a new manager, Teddy Brocksterman.
Oh.
You know Teddy.
Yeah?
Yeah. He'll be the manager this year. And Easton Barnes moves on after 2 very successful seasons in Garden City. He moves on to the Pioneer League, I think is where he ended up going. But he moves up is what's important. And, of course,
Why can't we move up?
being a developmental league, that's what you want from the Wind players and managers. Not so much the radio guy. The radio guy doesn't get promoted very often, bud. But we are seeing some success in moving guys up, and hopefully the Wind can deliver their very first Pecos League championship this season. They'll have the All-Star game again this year. It's going to be a whole festival around the All-Star game this year, including live music. H is going to be probably singing some live music there at the All-Star game. So you're going to want to go check that out as the band will be playing. And H sings with the band. He was quite popular in Moscow last weekend when we played with the band. and he rode the mechanical bull, and he rode it better than everybody in the band. The only one who didn't do it in the band was the drummer Steve, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Uncle Steve didn't do it, but everybody else did.
And Uncle Shane stayed on there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, Uncle Shane didn't stay on very long, and he thought he pulled something as well. Your mom even did it, right? Yeah. How'd your dad look up there riding a bull?
Like a cowboy?
Like a cowboy? You're darn right. You're darn right. By golly. But H, you wowed the crowd. He was riding, and then all of a sudden he reached up, took his hat, lifted into the air, and the whole crowd around there started cheering very loudly. We have a video of it on our band Facebook page, and I'll try to get over and share that here during the first break. But yeah, we've got a great video of H riding the mechanical bull
And I stayed on
at
there
the
for
show.
40 seconds.
Yeah, he stayed on there until the bull stopped.
And then
It was
passed
done,
out.
and
I
then
passed out.
he fell down. So.
That's what I mean by passed out.
So today, we haven't gotten to watch a Royals game yet this year because I have not pulled the trigger yet on the $100 to have Royals games on Royals.tv.
Or even go all the way to Kansas City
Or-
and pay $30.
Yeah,
for one ticket.
Yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger on going to Kansas City either. H thinks $30 a ticket is dumb. Wait till we look at prices for the Final Four a little bit later in the show. But tonight, the
$200.
Royals and the Brewers are on Apple TV, which we have Apple TV Plus. So we'll finally get to watch a Royals game until, it has like a blackout restriction or something, at which point H will probably throw something through the TV because he has not been happy with the blackouts. For whatever reason, we have T-Mobile internet here at the studio and at the house. And for
think
whatever
we live in
reason, it thinks
Tulsa.
we live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I looked that up, and according to what I've read, it's because they kind of like all this cell phone, like it's like a transfer station kind of thing, conglomerate. I don't know, but like all the cell phone towers in a certain area are part of a centralized location. That's what I was trying to say. And so, yeah, the centralized location is based out of Tulsa. So we're blacked out for the Royals, the Cardinals, the Rangers, and the Astros because of that, instead of just being blacked out for the Royals. So I, at some point, have to figure out how to defeat that. Everybody tells me a VPN, but it's hard to do that with the way that thing's set up. So I don't know. I will figure it out. I am not super worried about it. I've got enough things going on. Other things going on in baseball today. Number one prospect Connor Griffin makes his Major League Baseball debut for the Pirates in their home opener. Connor Griffin, this kid, they're talking about how he's going to be a stud. They said the same thing about Paul Skeens, and that turned out to be true. Are the Pirates going to finally find a way to make a push toward a relevancy after years and years and years of just kicking along down the line? The Pirates, maybe the influx of talent from all those losing seasons starting to come to fruition a little bit. The Marlins and the Yankees begin a series tied for the best record in Major League Baseball at 5-1. So, how about the Marlins? 5-1. The A's are 1-5.
The A's? What do you mean?
Yeah, and the Astros look to extend their winning streak to 6 games against the A's tonight. So that's something that my friend Don is a huge A's fan, and it has not been a good couple of years for the A's, and he is so much against John Fisher. It reflects in his fantasy baseball team's name. In Royals news, catcher Carter Jensen overslept yesterday, Harrison.
Huh?
He slept through his alarm. Have you ever done that? Maybe.
No.
I know I definitely have.
Maybe no.
But Carter Jensen, he's one of us. He slept through his alarm yesterday. showed up to the ballpark late. He was scratched from the lineup for that. Matt Quattrero said, hey, it's not something that happens a lot. The kid took accountability. We're not going to, beat him to death over this. He made a mistake. It's time to move on from it. So that's good for Carter Jensen. That as he is not going to be a long-term suspension or anything like that. They're just going to he paid the price of not getting to play yesterday and move along. The Royals ended up losing yesterday, but they are 3-3 on this season, and they haven't looked terrible. Noah Cameron's looked pretty good. Reagan's looked really good yesterday for the Royals. The struggles have been kind of with the bullpen more than anything, and having to sort out, whose role is what exactly in the bullpen. Estevez, is he injured? What's going on with him has been the question. But the Royals haven't looked terrible. The offense kind of scuffled along to start the year, but it looked a lot better 2 days ago. It didn't look great yesterday. But Kyle Isbell's hitting pretty well. He's off to a torrid start for the season. The bats will come around. I have faith that this team's offense is going to produce a whole lot better than what it has the last couple of years. And I swore that pitching was going to be the strength, both the rotation and the bullpen. And so far, the rotation's been decent. The bullpen has struggled, but I think it's just a matter of finding roles, what guys are supposed to be, and where they're supposed to be. Why are you showing everybody this toy that you have? Okay, it flips. That's cool. All right, that's enough of that, dude. That's enough. Put the toy down. There you go. The Orioles. H likes the Orioles. They're also 3-3 on the year. 2 games back of the 5-1 Yankees. But the Royals at 3-3 are just a half a game back of the Guardians, ahead of the Tigers by a game. The Tigers are the team that I picked to win the division, and I thought they'd do so pretty easily. They have struggled out the gate. Pitching-wise, they've given up just as many runs as the offense has scored, 24 and 24. The Royals have scored 23, given up 28, and are 3-3. So a little bit of luck involved in there. One big game from the Royals offense kind of helps that out a little bit. But everybody in the AL Central is at 0 in run differential or below. The White Sox are negative 31 already in run differential at 1-5.
Negative 31?
Yeah, so the standings go like this. The Guardians, the Royals in second. The Twins, Tigers, and then White Sox in the AL Central. So, two teams playing right now, the Dodgers and the Nationals, as that game just got underway. The Dodgers sit at 4-2 on the year. The Washington Nationals at 3-3. They kind of have been a little bit of a surprise as they played very well in their opening series against the Cubs, who sit at 3-3 as well. There's a lot of 500 teams to start the year, 6 games in. Think that's a good thing, though. It shows that it's going to be an interesting season. I think adding the wild card the way that it is has given teams more of a desire to push things to try to make the postseason than in years past, where you realize, we're not a very good team. We're just going to kind of tank it this year and try to build for the future. You don't see that quite as much now. There's not that complete dormant team in each division. There's still a couple of them out there, the White Sox and the Rockies being two of the top ones, the A's. But for the most part, everybody in each division is competing every year, and so I think that's a good thing. Another thing that has been added this year that is new is the ABS challenge system, which Salvador Perez has shown that maybe pitch framing wasn't such an important thing. If you know the strike zone, then that's more important moving forward, and hopefully that helps his case as a Hall of Fame candidate, which I think he should be a Hall of Famer anyway. But he's been very good at this ABS challenge system so far this year. He started 4 for 4. He's missed one since then. But I just don't like the challenge system. If we're going to have this, then go ahead and just make it all computer driven. Have an electronic strike zone. Seeing some of how close some of these pitches are, it's crazy. It's a half an inch from being a strike, and it was called a strike by the umpire. How are you faulting the umpire for that? People are ragging on these umpires. Some of them are egregious. Some of them are 3, 4, 5 inches out. Yeah, that's a given. But when it's a half an inch or 0.8 of an inch or something like that he missed it by, come on. The ball's moving when he's making that call. That's pretty amazing that he got it that close. That's borderline. That's a borderline pitch.
What's a borderline?
So, it's just, I feel like if we're going to have the automated strike zone, just go ahead and have the automated strike zone instead of doing this half and half thing. And I absolutely hate that everybody stops and then they look at the screen and they wait for the graphic to tell them, just say yes or no. Just like in football, when they have the first down measurement, the electronic first down measurement, quit with the antics. Just say yes or no and move on with it. You talk about how you want to speed these games up, but then you stop for crap like that. It's just, I get it's aesthetically pleasing to a lot of people, but I just would rather see it just done and move on instead of dragging it out. Just like I said, with the first down thing in football, waiting for the graphic to tell you just yes or no. We don't need to have all this pageantry with it. And you don't need to have both. Either have an automated strike zone or don't. I don't think we need to have the challenge system for ABS, and there's rules on when you can challenge and who can challenge and when. Just do the automatic strike zone. I'm against that. I like the human element of it. I don't mind when calls are a little bit off. Angel Hernandez off. Yeah, but that's accountability from Major League Baseball in having the best umpires and having a standard set, having a bar set. And we've already seen an umpire gone because of this system has embarrassed them. And that's fine. If it's going to mean that we get the better umpires, the best umpires out there, then fine. But I just really don't think that there's a need, if we're going to do an automated deal, I don't think that there's a need to continue with the human element of balls and strikes. If you're going to have the challenge system and all that in place, go ahead and just do it. I don't know. Maybe that's me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can text us. 620-222-0898 is the number. You can ask me a question. Ask H a question. 222-0898 is the number. We'll take a break. Come back here in just a minute. It's Ridin the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory right here on Dry River Radio. Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc.
Advances in technology have made hearing a more fashionable thing. Gone are the big bulky hearing aids of yesteryear, and in are more sleek, modern, and connected devices. Connect to your TV, your phone, and the world around you. If you are having trouble with hearing, then schedule a free hearing test at Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas with convenient locations in Dodge City, Garden City, and Liberal. More and more people of all ages are starting their journey towards better hearing, and you can too. Visit miracle-ear.com today to schedule a free hearing test. Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas. You deserve to hear a better day.
Hello, everyone. This is Harrison again to tell you about Spike's Cafe. Spike's Cafe is the place you want to take your family for breakfast or lunch. Trust me, they even cater. So if you have a party, they will bring the food to you or their food truck to your event. Spike's Cafe is the best. My dad takes me a lot of places to eat, so I know what I'm talking about. Spike's Cafe is open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And on some Fridays they stay open until 8. So check out their Facebook page for specials or today's hours. Spike's Cafe, only in Ingalls, Kansas.
Is that trash bin starting to smell a little funky? Then it's time to set up a monthly or quarterly subscription with MC Bin Cleaners. Or even just a one-time cleaning. Currently serving Dodge City, Mineola, Cimarron, and Ingalls. They don't just rinse out the bins, they clean and sanitize them, getting rid of not just the smell, but harmful bacteria and germs like Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, and more. Plus, a clean bin helps keep rodents away. They supply everything, too, from the water and the cleaning products to the disposal of the dirty water. No mess left behind. Cleaning both residential and commercial bins. Follow MC Bin Cleaners on Facebook and TikTok and visit their website, mcbincleaners.com. Subscriptions starting as low as $20. Locally owned and operated, cost-effective, and eco-friendly. Visit mcbincleaners.com today.
If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
Welcome back, bench warmers. It is Joey Dean and Age here on Ridin the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas in Garden City. Age playing a little air guitar for those of you watching on Facebook Live. Good job, buddy. You should compete in the air guitar competition that they have every year. Did you know that they do that? Yeah, they do. H joining me today. H, you've been to AAA Pawn and Armory. You've bought like toys and stuff from there. Pretty cool place, huh? Yeah. They've got that arcade game that you keep bugging me about getting too.
But $300.
Yeah, it's a little expensive for an arcade game. Happy birthday goes out, by the way, to our friend Jeff Hilger. Jeff competes against me in fantasy sports and loses to me quite admirably. So happy birthday to him today. As I've known Jeff for a number of years now, from back when the start of the Southwest Kansas Storm, worked alongside him the start of that, so that was pretty cool. Known him a long time, and so happy birthday to him. He is very old. I'm not going to tell you his age, but it is older than me by about 10 years. So there you go. H is doing math over there. The Final Four starts tomorrow. H and I have been watching basketball. We were upset when KU got knocked out. We were upset when the Wichita State Shockers got knocked out against Tulsa in the Elite Eight of the NIT. And that was kind of the end of us watching basketball for the most part, wasn't it? We've watched a little bit of Thunder since then, as we watched the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they've almost locked up that number one seed in the West. But Final Four starts tomorrow, 5:09 p.m. Central Time, for Game 1 on TBS True TV and HBO Max. I don't understand why the Final Four isn't on a over-the-air station, one of the big four. Why would you not? Like, why does it have to be on cable? Is what my question is. I get that you can stream and all that,
Cable?
but yeah, instead of having it on CBS or Fox or NBC or ABC, CBS for years was the home of March Madness. Why would you not have the Final Four on CBS? I don't understand that for the life of me. But UConn and Illinois is the first game at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then following that, 7:49 p.m., also on TBS True TV and HBO Max, is Michigan and Arizona, a couple of one seeds there. UConn is favored Illinois is favored in game 1 by a 1.5. Michigan is favored in game 2 by a 1.5. So pretty even lines there from Indianapolis as they battle out for the opportunity to play for a national championship on Monday. It should be a good pair of matchups. I've got Michigan winning it all still, but Arizona has impressed me the way that they've played here late in the season and representing the Big 12. You got 2 Big 10, a Big 12, and a Big East team. No SEC, no ACC. I think that's pretty good snapshot of college basketball. You got the top 3, I believe, conferences represented. I don't think the ACC or SEC are better than the Big East in basketball. And everybody wanted to talk about how great the SEC was, and they get all these teams in, and they've won so many games. Well, yeah, when you get half your conference in, you're gonna win games. That's just a law of numbers. You know, you get 12 teams in or 10 teams in versus other conferences having 4 or 6. You darn well better win. The favoritism toward the SEC from the media, and then it trickles over into the selection committees in both football and basketball, is so blatantly obvious. And I'm baffled by how we've let this go so far. And then the ship ends up righting itself by the end, where you have 2 Big Ten teams, which the Big Ten I think was the best basketball conference this year. I think the Big 12 was the second best, and the Big East the third best. And there's an argument to be had about, all 3 of those, but I think by and large, the Big Ten was the stronger basketball conference this year. And it shows. They have 2 in the Final Four. And there could be an all Big Ten championship game. That's still a possibility. Arizona, I think, represents the Big 12 well. The Big 12, it was an extremely difficult conference, top to bottom. And I think that Arizona kind of rose above the pack this year, and they've become the team that, according to Arizona fans, they're the team of destiny. But I can't stand Arizona fans, but I'm happy that they're representing the Big 12 in the Final Four. And then UConn, the Huskies have just been there year after year after year. They're tough to put away, and they end up pulling off the big upset of Duke on Sunday with the monumental comeback to make it to the Final Four, which is absolutely huge for the Big East. So it's going to be a fun Final Four. Illinois, UConn, first game, Michigan, Arizona, second game. We'll get to our picks in the next segment, and we'll see who H is going to pick out of those teams. Speaking of basketball, I mentioned the Oklahoma City Thunder. Right now, everybody that's going to make the playoffs are set. The playoff picture is set except for who's going to play against whom, what seed certain teams are. There's still that to work out over the next week and a half or so before the playoffs start on the 18th in the NBA. But right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 seed in the West, and so they'll get that bye to wait for the 8th seed to present itself out of the West. We'll see who that's going to be. Right now, in the East, it's the Detroit Pistons as the number 1 seed.
Pistons?
Yeah, the Pistons. We've been watching Home Improvement of late, H and I have. And, of course, that's set in Detroit. And Tim Allen wears some Pistons shirts throughout the show.
And also, when I watched when I watched Toy Story last night, at the end, I didn't know Tim Allen played Buzz.
Yeah, your mom was like, do you recognize that voice? And you're like, huh? And then she goes, oh?
I was like, and my face?
Yeah. So, you learned that Tim Allen played that. And then I pointed out to you that Cliff Clavin from Cheers
Uh-huh.
plays. Who's he play? Oh man, which one is he?
Just gonna search it up. Search it up.
I'm gonna search it because John Ratzenberger. He plays Toy Story. So I'm sure people are listening right now and they're screaming on which one he is. Ham. He plays the pig. Ham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
And see who he plays in Ratatouille.
Oh man, I just closed that tab. You're killing me, Smalls. I don't know who he plays in Ratatouille. I don't think I've ever seen Ratatouille, actually. I've seen you watch it, but I don't think I've ever seen Ratatouille.
Well, then come and watch it.
What's Ratatouille about? Maybe I wouldn't even
It's
like
about where a mouse named what's his name? Well,
Is his name Ratatouille?
no.
Oh, okay.
There's this mouse that wants to be a chef. He doesn't eat the trash. He goes to look for actual food, not trash. Like goes to look for cheese, and everyone in his family, or all the rats that he lives with, doesn't like that, and then he comes into a restaurant where he pulls his hair like in the Minecraft movie when Steve's holding Garrett's hair. He does that, but under Linguini's hat to make him cook. To make it's like mind control.
Oh, okay. So I should watch this movie, I guess.
Yeah, it's a funny movie.
It's funny? Okay. So Ratatouille. Feel free to text me if I should watch Ratatouille or not. 620-222-0898, the number to join the show. Joey Dean and H here, Riding the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory. H, big Shocker fan. This year didn't go quite as what you hoped they would, but
the wallpaper on the wall, one of the pictures we took on
last week.
Yeah, last week has his cat Casey, it has Casey in it, and she's just looking at us. She doesn't look too happy.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I'm in that picture.
Yeah.
She's just looking.
But the Shockers bringing back 4 different players so far that have committed to returning instead of hitting the transfer portal. How awesome is that, H? Your favorite player, the big man, Will Berg, coming back for another year.
Will Berg!
Yeah, H is a big Berg fan.
7'2".
7'2". That's right. But looks like Porter Paul doing his work close to home this year. Instead of having to replace an entire team, he's only going to have to add pieces, which is awesome. And I think that, kind of talks toward what I was saying earlier in the season when they had some struggles earlier in the non-conference, and you could see that the team had potential and they just needed to gel together. And I was talking about how, it's a lot of sophomores and juniors on this team, and it seemed like Paul Mills did that with the intent of building this culture and then retaining players. And you don't see a lot of coaches nowadays that are willing to do that. And it's kind of a mix between the new school and the old school way of building a team. And I think Paul Mills has figured out the recipe that's going to work at Wichita State. The players he has coming back are going to be huge. They lose Boyd, they lose Giles, which kind of hurts. But instead of, like KU and some of those other schools that are just going to keep replacing and replacing and replacing. Wichita State is in a position where they can't do that every single year and compete. They're going to have to retain some players. And so I think that's absolutely huge that they got Paul Mills and he's figured out this formula to keep guys. And it's all about the culture at Wichita State. And they have some diehard fans, H being one of them. That just are all about the Shockers all the time, cry when they lose, celebrate when they win, and this has definitely been an off season of winning so far. The portal officially opens on the 7th, and so we'll see if some of the guys that have declared for the portal will decide to stay in the ultimately, thinking mostly of Drake Kendall, the point guard that kind of figured in as the guy to replace Kendall Giles to steer the ship for the Shockers. But we'll see what Portal Paul can do in bringing some talent to Wichita. Man, it was fun following the Shockers this season. A little bit of a roller coaster, but ended with an NIT berth and some success in the NIT, a run to the conference championship game. It'll be a little bit quicker, I think, the gelling time for the team next year, and I think that's really, really important for Wichita State. As far as Kansas State, they've got a new coach. They're going to have to figure out a brand new philosophy, and they're going to hit the portal hard here in the next week, and they're going to try to build a team as fast as they possibly can to compete in the Big 12. But there wasn't a lot to be excited about with the Kansas State season this year, and it was kind of a dumpster fire from the get-go. And getting rid of their coach the way that they did, they should have fired him after his comments immediately instead of waiting a week and then letting him coach in another game and practice and all of that and then firing him before him. It just was a mess. And so Kansas State is going to have to clean things up, and they're going to have to hit the portal hard to replenish what they have. As for the University of Kansas, Bill Self coming back for another year after there were reports that he wasn't going to, and he said, no, those are absolutely false. I haven't even made a decision yet. Well, now he's made a decision. He is coming back. That's what I thought he was going to do. He'd come back for one more season, try to make it a legitimate run at the Final Four. Because I think losing the way they did to St. John's was a bitter pill to swallow for Bill Self. And, getting beat by Rick Pitino, having your defense completely collapse after an epic comeback to tie things, and then just letting the winning shot, just letting the guy just walk to the basket. I mean, they could have helped on defense and made it a tougher shot, and they didn't. And so I think, with that, and Peterson is going to declare for the draft. He's going to be drafted. He's going to be gone. And I think that was the thing that hurt this team, having a star like that. And I think that Bill Self has managed stars well throughout his career. But he's done better when he's got a team of just dudes. I think back to 2007, 2008, and you just had dudes that were just solid, and there was no real superstardom and guys that transcend basketball or anything like that. Mario Chalmers hit the biggest shot that year, and Sharon Collins, I guess, would be the star. I mean, it was a solid team of dudes, and I think that's what Bill Self is going to try to put together, where you don't have the ego of a number one prospect and the pressures that come with that, and just get back to playing good defense and hella offense the way the Jayhawks know how to do. Love to hear your thoughts. 620-222-0898, the number. We'll take a break. We'll come back, wrap things up with our picks. This is Ridin the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory, right here on Dry River Radio. Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call on my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc.
Advances in technology have made hearing a more fashionable thing. Gone are the big, bulky hearing aids of yesteryear, and in are more sleek, modern, and connected devices. Connect to your TV, your phone, and the world around you. If you are having trouble with hearing, then schedule a free hearing test at Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas with convenient locations in Dodge City, Garden City, and Liberal. More and more people of all ages are starting their journey towards better hearing, and you can too. Visit miracle-ear.com today to schedule a free hearing test. Miracle Ear of Southwest Kansas. You deserve to hear a better day.
If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
Welcome back, Benchwarmers. It is Ridin the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory right here on Dry River Radio. I'm Joey Dean. Alongside me is my boy, Harrison H. How you doing, buddy? Huh?
Orioles.
Okay. We haven't gotten there yet. We're going to do our picks for this show as we'll start with college basketball. Illinois, the 3 seed, against the 2 seed UConn in Indianapolis tomorrow. Who do you got, Illinois or UConn, H? The Illini or the Huskies?
Husky dogs.
Yep, the Husky Dogs. Okay, you're taking the Huskies? All right, I'm going to take, Illinois kind of surprised me to make it here. I think both of these teams have been running on luck a little bit. Ah, man, UConn's been here before, though, and I'm going to take UConn. I'm going to take the Huskies as well. The night game tomorrow, number 1 Michigan, the Wolverines, against number 1 Arizona, the Wildcats.
The Wolverines.
I, too, am going to take Michigan, even though deep in my soul there is a sadness being a Notre Dame fan. But I, too, will take the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow for the championship. So if it's Michigan and UConn in the championship, the Final Four tomorrow, in the championship on Monday, if it is Michigan and UConn, who are you going to pick?
Who?
Yeah, Michigan or UConn. Which one would you pick?
Michigan or UConn. The Huskies again.
I'm going to take the Wolverines if it's that case. I'm taking the Wolverines to win it all anyway.
Yeah, I kind of want to pick both, but
you can't pick both. 3 Major League Baseball games going on right now. The Dodgers lead the Nationals 5-3. That is in the bottom of the third. Also in the bottom of the third, no score between the Cardinals and the Tigers. And the Marlins and Yankees just got underway. Bottom of the first, it's already 2-1. Yankees with the lead. MLB TV at 1:10. The Padres at the Red Sox. H, who do you got? Padres or Red Sox?
Padres?
All right, you're taking the Padres. I'm going to take the Red Sox at home. Blue Jays and the White Sox. This is a makeup from April 2nd in Chicago. Who do you got, Blue Jays or White Sox?
Definitely not Blue Jays.
Definitely not Blue Jays? Or, yes, which one are you picking?
Not the Blue Jays. I'm not picking the Blue Jays.
So you're taking the White Sox?
Yes.
Okay, say that then. The Blue Jays is who I'm taking. The Reds at the Rangers, 3:05 on MLB TV. Who do you got, Reds or Rangers?
Rangers.
I, too, am going to take the Rangers. 3:10 on ESPN Unlimited and MLB.TV. Cubs at Guardians.
Cubbies.
Go, Cubs, go. 3:10 on MLB TV. Rays at Twins.
Rays at Twins.
Yep.
Rays.
You're going to take the Rays?
Mm-hmm.
I, too, am going to take the Rays. 3:10 on MLB TV. Phillies at Rockies.
Rockies.
I'm going to take the Fightin' Phils in this one. But I'm cool with that. $64, the lowest ticket price right now for that game in Coors Field in Denver. Orioles at Pirates. 312 on MLB TV. You're taking the Orioles?
Mm-hmm. What you picking?
I'm going to take the Orioles in that one. 640 on Apple TV tonight. You know what? We'll do that one last. 838 on MLB TV. Mariners at Angels. Who do you got?
Angels.
I'm going to take the Mariners. I got Woo on my fantasy team. So 840 on Apple TV. Braves at the Diamondbacks.
D-backs.
I'm going to take the Braves. 840 on MLB TV. Astros at Athletics. Astros or A's? Astros. I'm going to take the A's at home. Let's go. Mets at Giants, 9:15 on MLB TV.
Giants?
Is that a question or is that the one you're taking?
That's the one I'm taking.
You're going to take the Giants at home? I, too, am going to take the Giants. And then the final one, 6:40 on Apple TV. We're going to actually watch a Royals game this year, H. Brewers, who are 5-1, at the Royals, who are 3-3 from Kauffman Stadium. Tickets as low as $12 according to ESPN in Kansas City. Expecting 74 degrees at first pitch, cloudy skies. Who do you got, Royals or Brewers?
Royals, according to this glove.
Yeah, Royals. I'm going to take the Royals as well, as Avila goes for the Royals. Patrick for the Brew Crew. It's a double thing. If the Royals win, it helps the Cubs out as well. So I love that. Big thank you to H for joining me on today's show. Thank you to all of our sponsors. AAA Pawn and Armory, Miracle Air, Southwest Kansas, Graph Inc., Spike's Cafe, and big thank you to all of you who have listened. Don't forget, if you missed any of the show, you can listen on podcast, which you can download at about 1:30 or so. It'll be available on all your podcast streaming sites, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, what have you. You can download the podcast. Just search for Ridin' the Pine, and of course you can hear it as well on our website, dryriverservices.com, or watch the playback on Facebook Live until Facebook decides to delete it in 30 days. So for all of the aforementioned people that made this show possible, and for you, thank you for listening. H, do you want to tell everybody? Do you want to tell?
2 minutes.
Do you want to tell everybody bye?
Bye.
Well, that was a weak goodbye.
Bye.
Dude, no, don't scream into the microphone. Say goodbye. Tell them
Goodbye.
Have a nice weekend or something.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
All right, this has been Ridin' the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory right here on Dry River Radio. Have a great weekend, everyone.